But good morning to everyone, and I will start sharing some thoughts about my research. Um, my research has two focuses, actually, textile archaeology and archaeology of childhood. These two subwheels have directed my research into geographical regions and to historical periods. After my graduation in 2004, I studied my PhD research textile making and social identities in central Tyrrhenian Italy from prehistory to Republican period. My dissertation studies textile making implements, weaving, spinning, and tablet weaving tools in order to understand the life of women, children, and men within textile craft. The implements are studied in their context of burials, settlement sites, and sanctuaries, and the importance of textile making is considered from social, religious, and economic points of views. Alongside my PhD research, I participated in a 7-year international Christian project that studied a pre-Roman settlement site near Rome. There I was in charge of excavation of a children's burial ground, but the excavations also revealed a road trench and a Republican era farmstead. And of course we unearthed textile tools and also small pseudoform of textile on the surface of a fibula. The results of these excavations will be published in Customarium Collana. The report and artifact documentation were completed while my 2-year postdoctoral research period, funerary attire in Central Tyrrhenian Italy in Rome. During my maternal leave, I have 2 children, and during my second maternal leave, I participated 1-day inventories below northern Finnish churches, which led to project Church Space and Memory, in which my role was to study the funerary attire of the human remains. My interest, particularly in children's funerary attire, evolved into 2 ongoing projects. In August 2017, I started working as Academy Research Fellow at the University of Oulu. This is an internationally evaluated position that is awarded by the Academy of Finland for 5 years. And in 2019, the Academy of Finland awarded me academic research funding for early career researchers. My personal research project is titled New Perspectives on Childhood in Finland, funerary attire as an indicator of status of children. Within this project, I study past childhood with interdisciplinary methods of textile and funerary archaeology, with an emphasis in understanding emotions behind funerary practices. My research material comprises of more than 1,000 textile fragments or entire textiles from about 400 burials that I have studied in collaboration with my colleagues and students. My focus has been in the themes of infancy and adolescence, religion and understanding of death, understanding the sensory experiences and related emotions while preparing the burial, status of the deceased, as well as taphonomy and textile preservation. Additionally, I have studied with my colleagues the remains and uniform of a young soldier who was about 17 years old when he died during the Finnish War in 1808. soldiers' life at the battlefield, modifications of the uniform, health during the war, where and etc. We have been presenting these issues in a museum exposition at Oulu, and currently we are finishing a multi-authored monograph to be published this year. Between 2019 and 2020, we had also a series of museum expositions in different local museums based on our research of church burials in northern Finland. Two of these expositions were particularly designed keeping in mind the funerary textiles, because in May 2020, we were supposed to host the NISAT 14 conference in Oulu, but unfortunately it was, of course, postponed to August this year. And this year we will not have an exposition in Oulu. Of course, we don't yet know whether anyone will be able to travel to Oulu anyways, but we'll see. We will have an online conference anyways. The Academy of Finland funded project is titled Daily and Afterlife of Children, New Perspectives in Identifying Childhood in the Past. In this project, I've employed two postdoctoral researchers, a PhD student and research assistant, to understand relationships between infants and mothers. We study the development of emotional bonds between the two. And we do this, for instance, through studying breastfeeding practices. We are also interested in relationships between the older generations and children. We also study archaeological and historical sources to examine the youth's role in textile production. Methodologically, my current research interest is in the application of computed tomography scanning in the research of archaeological textiles. In addition to medical CT scanning of whole coffins, I'm currently in collaboration with the research unit of medical imaging in physics and technology at the University of Oulu, examining the possibilities of micro CT scanning to study textiles and fibers. Some future research projects. Last September, we studied a private chapel at Kourala in southwest Finland. This chapel belonged to a noble family and was mainly in use during the early 19th century. Some of the remains were mummified and wore beautiful funerary cloths. In addition to studying the fabrics and how they were, how the funerary attire reflect the status of the noble family members, I'm very much interested in the methods these remains were embalmed with, and what was the role of textiles in the process of both embalming and as enables of preservation. There are textile remains also inside of the bodies of these mummified individuals, implying that textiles were used in the embalming process. In the future, we are also very much interested in both mental and physiological well-being of the past individuals and how these were intertwined. I've always been interested in understanding humanity, emotions, identities, and childhood. And in addition to archaeology, I have studied sociology and educational sciences. This ambition has driven my research interests. In many ways, I've studied the aforementioned issues in the past through both textile craft and clothing as the second skin of humans. Here you can see the link to our website where you can find more about our activities in the form of a photo of the month, links to the videos that we have produced and talks we have given. We have also very interesting online lecture series coming up this spring. From the Europe web and particularly from this working group, I would wish for discussion about the burials, perhaps particularly crypt burials, if there are any others who study those, but also in general burials and textiles within them. And also if anyone would be interested in collaborating in studying children's or adolescents textile craft or clothing, or particularly funerary attire, I'm prepared to do something together. But I will stop now and thank you for listening.